What's happening, everybody? It's Friday night. I'm going to talk about metabolism and gastrointestinal health. Answer some questions. Going to see what's going on. Hey, everybody. Just now coming on. A little din. When you come in, hey, just say hey if you want, and where you're watching from. Who your people? Who your peeps? What's up, Shawty? Hello. Mary Anu. User number a whole bunch of digits. Hello. Oh my goodness. Jonesboro, Tennessee. Nice. My mama's side of the family is from Tennessee, around Nashville and Fayette County. Back in the day, Mama's 243's in the house. Sarah, what's happening? Heather, what's up? Hey, you guys, I'm going to talk about some really cool stuff tonight. I'm going to show you guys where the rubber really hits the road. I'm going to show you guys some of the patient reports that I do. So when you were, on TikTok and you just absolutely inundated with health coaches, they're cute. They mean well. Hey, Sarah, what's happening? They talk about gut health all the time. And if you watch any of my videos in my gallery, I really don't like the word gut. It's gastrointestinal. But anyways, what's up, Richard? So anyways, guys, I'm going to be showing you, this is the patient experience. That's me, Dr. Anthony G. Beck. And this is where it makes all the difference in the world in what type of people you get your health advice from. I believe there's a whole bunch of people. What's up, Francine, Joan, Ron? Hey, everybody. Chuckle Cheese. Stacy, USA Strong. C. Pickett. So anyways, what I was saying is I'm going to be talking about the difference in believing and knowing. It makes a big difference in the world. So, for instance, this is a patient lab. Of course, I've redacted their name because we've got to be HIPAA compliant around here, as you know. And basically, these are the type of reports that I give to my patients because I want to teach you guys how not to need doctors, right? That makes all the difference in the world. So when it comes down to it, knowing with functional laboratory assessments is where the rubber hits the road on if you are actually doing the right thing to heal your gastrointestinal, what I call the hooter-tooter-tooter. Can I get an amen from Tennessee? A little hooter-tooter-tooter action. We call that the GI tract, your inner tube. And so this is a synopsis report. So I'll just get right into it. We got several people in here. One of the things that people are always talking about, of course, is probiotics. Right? And I've done some videos on fermented foods. Everybody thinks amen from Texas. All right. Shorty thinks amen. So when it comes down to it, there's no shortage of health information and health talk, right? TOK. And at the end of the day, I appreciate people wanting to help other people because gastrointestinal complaints are central to things. But contrary to popular belief, it is not where all wellness begins and ends is in the gut. The GI tract, it is not. Okay, the GI tract is an effectant by air, water, light, sound, EMF, and food. So it's actually secondary. So if you guys want to learn more about my method of approach known as Balance Protocol, you can go to Balance Protocol Prime. That's PRIME, like that good old steak from Texas. BalanceProtocolPrime.com. BalanceProtocolPrime.com. No way I caught live. What's up, Dr. Rivas? One of my proteges in the house. Hey, if you guys get a chance, make sure you follow Dr. Carlos Rivas. He's one of the medical doctors that has trained with me in Balance Protocol, and he actually works with me here in Florida. Nice to see you, Doc. All right. As if we didn't have enough time together. I didn't tell him I was going to be on either. Okay, so one of the things is you have bacteria in your inner tube, okay? And you should have a certain amount of it, but not too much of it. Right? So one of the things that people, oh man, look at all them lovely vibes from Nikki Holly. Boy, if you got two first names in your name, you know you're cool. Everybody met anybody? Billy Bob, he's always cool, right? Nikki Holly, you know she's cool. Anyways, what we do is we take a stool sample. Okay, now you don't send it to me. You know, what I typically do is now we see patients from all around the world, particularly across the United States. And Brown, hey, listen, kombucha, good for the gut. It can be, but it is not correct to say it is good for the gut, because kombucha and all the other fermented foods have their place, but they can be equally detrimental, because here's the thing. You do get some microbial probiotic species from eating fermented food, but not as much as you think. Because in order for them to produce the lactic acid that's actually in there, that tart, tangy, fun stuff, they have to commit seppuku. They have to pass away. They have to die. They have to give up the ghost. Sarah LaBeouf. Man, Sarah LaRae LaBeouf. Are you from Louisiana? From Baton Rouge? Kefir, probiotics, same thing. If you make your own kefir and you drink it relatively short, whether it be water kefir or milk kefir, yes, it can be beneficial, but it can create a probiotic dysbiosis. So stay tuned, Donkey, because you're going to love this. So anyways, when we take a sample of the patient's stool, we send it off to the lab and they DNA test it for what microbes are in there. See, I knew it was from Louisiana. With a name like that, you knew you had to be from Louisiana. I called it pretty good, sir. That's good. So here's the thing, and thanks for the share, Tanya. So that's the other thing, guys. If I can ask you, share this live. Let everybody know that I'm on, because we can change the world together, right? Get a little over 50 people in here. Welcome. If you're first time here, my name is Dr. Anthony G. Beck. I'm an integrative medicine and functional medicine practitioner of 27 years. I'm located in Central Florida. I have a proprietary method of applying a systems biology to the resolution of chronic disease known as Balance Protocol. And you can learn more about it at balanceprotocolprime.com. Anyways, so this is a stool sample that we do. We send it off to the lab, and we take a look at all the phylum, okay, you know, kingdom, phylum, whatever, genus, species, blah, 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 all that kind of fun stuff. And that tells us what the status of the bowel is. Now, let me show you guys something. So this particular patient had an excess of some of these bacteria, way past what a healthy cohort should be. So there's an actual overgrowth of bacteria, and it's a probiotic bacteria, too much. So it was out of balance. And then, of course, the rest was pretty on thing. But let me show you something very interesting in this particular patient. If we go back to another part of the report, what we did is we take a sample of their bacteria and we put it into a culture dish, and we see if it'll grow. You guys ever seen a Petri dish, right? And we cut it up into 4 quadrants, and we take some of their sample, their isolated microbe, and we swab it, and we crosshatch it, and we see how it grows, okay? So in this particular case, this person's lactobacillus did not grow in culture. So the interesting thing about that is even though, if you look here, look at this. Let's see if I can get real close. Okay, you see this right here? Lactobacillus, like acidophilus, those guys, there's something called the Firmicute phylum. And look at this. They had a whole bunch of it, lots. Okay, so the total volume of their stool of lactobacillus was a lot. But what happened when we tried to grow it in culture outside of the body, it didn't grow. So that tells you it's not a very strong strain. But look what we did find. Look at this. Okay? We found overgrowth of Klebsiella oxytosa and Citrobacter frundi. Okay? It grew in all 4 quadrants. So this is a pathogenic bacteria. You see that? Okay, it means potential pathogen. And it was these 2 bacteria. That can create a problem. Now, what kind of problems? Everything that gets blamed for celiac or gluten sensitivity, things that you'll get blamed for, it's my thyroid, my rheumatoid arthritis, my migraines, my PCOS, all kinds of things. It's a contributing factor. It's always more than just the GI. But let me show you something, okay? Let me show you something that's really going to crack you guys up. This happened in Health Talk, okay? We also screened for parasites, because you know everybody's talking about doing a parasite cleanse, right? It's all on TikTok. You got a parasite cleanse, okay? Parasites are real. I test for them. Look at all these parasites that I screen for in every one of my patients. And this patient actually has blastocystis, okay? Very common parasite, okay? Ever since I caught salmonella, ended up in the ICU for a week, haven't been the same. Well, Sarah, we can rebuild that. That's the thing. When you go into conventional care, and my protege, Dr. Carlos Rivas, is in the house, he'll tell you, he's seen lots of these patients too in the ER. The thing about it is you go for conventional care, we hit you with some antibiotics, we keep you alive, and then once you stabilize, we send your ass home, and then that's the end of it. There's no continual care afterwards. There's no rebuilding what we do. So then, of course, people will have this type of story. They'll go, oh my God, I took antibiotics and it killed off everything. No, it didn't. An antibiotic is not going, and I don't care what it is. I don't care if it's ciprofloxacin, doxycycline, or penicillin. It's not going to sterilize the hooter to the tutor. That inner tube is still going to have a lot of bacteria in there, okay? Mold, Tony, does not show up in the bowel. Nope, it does not. Some of the fungus that can contribute to that can, but that's another story, okay? Mold you got to test for separately. But mold is one of those things that really gets mistakenly finger pointed a lot too, but it is a very real thing. Here in Florida, it can be an issue. So we did find Blastocystis hominis detected in this patient's stool, along with those 2 bacteria. But here's the cool thing. Let me show you something. This is where the rubber hits the road, okay? In order to effectively eradicate a bacteria, okay, it has to be sensitive to the actual therapeutic agent. And you know, everywhere on TikTok, everyone's saying, oregano oil, it's antibiotic. Garlic, it's antibiotic. Well, berberine. Well, let me show you something. We took this patient's Klebsiella oxytosa and we tested it against berberine, uva ursi, and oregano, and it didn't have very good inhibition. So for all those people out there who are saying, well, if you get an infection, just take oregano oil, they do not know what they're talking about. And it can be very life-threatening for you to maintain a bacterial infection that you think you're going to treat with a botanical. Now, does oregano have a possible therapeutic? Sure. Let me give you an example. For this bacteria, okay, it didn't affect this one either, but berberine did. So it was resistant. This patient's strain was resistant to ampicillin, amoxicillin, okay? But it was sensitive to ciprofloxacin and tetracycline and sulfa. So this is how we can literally pinpoint what therapeutic agent, whether it be nutraceutical or pharmaceutical, can eradicate your bacterial infection. That's the huge difference, guys. That should be an absolute game-changing aha moment for you. People say, well, when it comes down to it, oil of oregano, boom, or monolaurin, or nystatin, and all these natural antibiotics. Just because it has antimicrobial, antibacterial, antiviral, antiparasitic properties does not mean it is. I have pro-driving properties, okay? But not a NASCAR, just one great big left turn at 200 miles an hour. Okay, you see I'm a country boy, right? So that's how that works. Are all these things contributing to poor gut health? They absolutely can, Tracy. That is the difference. That's why I'm on here. Because I want people to understand that you have people telling you about gut health, and they're like, oh, you just need to take some L-glutamine. Did you know L-glutamine feeds pathogenic bacteria? This patient right here, their labs contraindicate the consumption of the amino acid L-glutamine. So everybody's going, oh, to heal your gut health and leaky gut, you just need some L-glutamine. You need some sea moss. You need some oil of oregano. Not this person. All of those are actually contraindicated for this patient. Anything for H. pylori? Yes, we screen for H. pylori in this test as well. Okay? Now, here's what's another interesting thing. You see this right here? This patient also had yeast overgrowth. Candida, not albicans. Okay? Look at that. You guys see that? Yeast, not Candida albicans. So they had a fungal overgrowth in their bowel that wasn't Candida. So everybody's going, oh, Candida, right? So the thing about that is at the end of the day, you have to know what you're dealing with in there, okay? Everyone is so different, bottom line. Tab restored, that is exactly right. Everybody is different. And the only way you're going to differentiate yourself is through proper laboratory assessment and interpretation. And there you have it. see, H. pylori. Yeah, for H. pylori, listen, I'm gonna tell you guys, after 27 years in clinical practice, you do not want to mess around with H. pylori and try to do it naturally the way like some of these people do on TikTok. It's gonna cost you dearly. Believe me, I hate the antibiotics if we don't, anyways too. But there's a proper way to go after it, right? What about if you took antibiotics daily for 7 years straight? Ooh, Jeep girl. Ooh. Well, first of all, I feel for you. Number two, hopefully you fired the hell out of that physician who did that. Here's the beautiful thing. I've seen that a lot. I've seen patients that have had their spleen removed, and so they're on prophylactic penicillin for the rest of their life. Well, here's the thing. We can do proper lab workup, and we can see what's the status, regardless of the history. We want to take that history, but we can still recover it. The body is divinely created. Even if they gave you a Roux-en-Y, and even if they had a bowel resection, or any of those other barbaric GI surgeries, you can recover from. So I had a bacterial infection. The thing that helped me the most was going on an all-fruit diet. Well, Moreno, that can happen. One of the things that can be there is, on that note, I'll give you some insight as to why that could be, okay? So one of the things is it depends, okay, upon what bacteria is actually in there, okay? So one of the issues here is understanding that there's a variety of different bacteria. Some thrive better on plants. Some thrive better on animal products. Some fiber, some not fiber. The key is to eat a varied and diverse diet. That's what Balanced Protocol teaches, okay? Do you think you could still have an infection? You very well could, Sarah. I can't crystal ball that. I don't know about you. You're just a lovely friend of mine on TikTok. And we can find out. If you want to know, that's it. If you do have gastrointestinal symptoms, it would behoove you to work with a clinician such as my team and do that. Good evening from Seattle. Suggestions or insight on ulcerative colitis. If you have ulcerative colitis, your colon is inflamed due to ulcers. That's the translation of the Latin. You have to do one of these stool studies. You have to do a comprehensive digestive stool analysis with parasite screening and culture. That's what you have to do, Casey, 100%. You know, if you were my sister or whatever, I would say you better do it. You can't mess around. And here's the thing. Standard practice in conventional medicine is we don't do it. They don't do that. It's amazing. And even most gastroenterologists don't do this test. They don't. True. Okay, so let's go here. Boom, boom, boom. How long should you be on antibiotics? Moreno, it depends on the patient. What microbe are you fighting? What's the context of the health of your gastrointestinal tract? What's your resiliency on the ability to handle the antibiotic? Which antibiotic? And then it all comes down to what dose of antibiotic, how frequently you're taking it, will determine how long you take it. What about exposure to toxic mold in dorm room over a year? Yes, so mycotoxins are very real. Fungal overgrowth, ergo mold, puts off persistent toxins that you can uptake and have issues with. You can't just treat it presuppositioned. Even though you're presupposing it could be in play, there's a right way and there's a wrong way. There's an order of operations in resolving the body's exposure to mold. What do you say about, animal farming and its impossible sustainability? Well, I think that's bullshit. Animal farming is absolutely sustainable. I've been a biodynamic farmer fan for a long time. And animals are just part of the circle of life. You got to do it right. You got to rotate them. Animals in nature and plants, they are the litmus test for everything. And they absolutely symbiotically coexist. I know farms here in Florida that freaking rock and roll. Name of the test. It is a comprehensive digestive stool analysis, also known as a GI Effects 2200 3-day collection. Daughter moved out because of it. Yeah, it's terrible, Sammy. That's where I've been. Yep, Dr. Rivas, I said, so, conventional GI, they don't look at it. They just want to give you immunosuppressants and stuff. What kind of testing would I need to do for mold? It would be a combination blood and urine collection. We would have to screen you that way. Water in a glass, not plastic. Oh, yeah, I don't drink out of plastic. This is Got to do the good stuff, particularly if you're putting a little botanist gin with my homemade tonic water and my ice cubes of, reverse osmosis water. Anyway, can a papaya seed be used to do a parasite cleanse? Shorty, great question. Yes and no. It depends upon the parasite. Okay, see, I get it. And people are asking these questions about parasites. I totally understand it. But just papaya seeds alone, no. If you are going to use them as a part of it, you have to grind them up. You can't just swallow them, eat the papaya, swallow them, and they're going to kill parasites. It also depends upon the timing. Papaya seed molecules that are therapeutically against worms and whatnot, they're not very good about Blastocystis hominis, but they're good about pinworms. It depends upon if you're getting the adult stage, the pupal stage, or you're actually getting their eggs. It's not going to get their eggs. It's not powerful enough. One more time. C. Houston 83. GI Effects 2200. Okay? And it is a test that you can bill through insurance, right? It's $2,500. With us, it's not that much because we give you our cash price, which is about $500. There you have that. What about all the people doing parasite cleanses on TikTok? Great question, Sammy. They are not clinicians. They've never seen a patient in their life. They've never done a parasite screening lab in their life. They have never done one of these. Okay? These are parasites. Okay? They are not screening for them. Okay? Now, but is there harm in it? Potentially. Okay? Yes, if you do overdo papaya seeds, it can really create a semi-toxic effect. Not toxic, it's going to kill you, doc, but yes, it can be an issue. So the parasite cleanses can be and very effective. I'm an advocate of them. I do them. The difference is I do them in the context of the individual because there's a right way and there's a wrong way. And if you start Herxheimer reaction or having adverse reactions to die off and you're not doing other things, like for instance, the number one thing if you are ever going to do a parasite addressing protocol is you must be moving your bowels 3 times a day. Not 1 time a day, not twice a day. It is not enough. When you start killing off microbes and parasites, and you leave their rotting in there, it creates a problem. You have enterohepatic reuptake of these toxins from their dead carcasses. Had C. diff 2 years ago, tested negative after 2 rounds of Van. What can I do to make sure it hasn't come back? Well, Steve, we can screen. We can screen for it. We totally can. I can show it to you right here as part of the workup. Let's see. Where we go on this particular report? Maybe this patient didn't have it. Because at the end of the day, it's right here. It's in the firmicutes. Actually, see right there. So the key here is if it's been 2 years ago and you're asymptomatic, I don't necessarily you don't necessarily need to know if C. diff is still an issue in there. Don't overly seek medical care. That's another problem out there. It's a balance, of course, balance protocol. We want you to seek competent care, but at the same time, doctors make a lot of mistakes. We kill 350,000 people a year by mistakes. Tommy, no, I don't take insurance. The reason why we don't take insurance is because if somebody else is paying, they get to determine what we can and cannot do. You're the boss. We work for the patient. We work for you. You can hire and fire us at will. And therein lies the difference, right? So no, we don't take insurance. We can provide you with a receipt for things like this lab and a paid invoice. And then what you can do is you can submit it to your insurance for reimbursement. So many warnings on these parasite cleanses. Yes. Can they be effective? Well, of course they can. Do parasites, are they very common? Of course they are. Do they present a whole lot of problems? Of course they do. But it's the context of you. You have to properly screen for them, and you have to know what, like this person here, we found one, Blastocystis hominis, along with, here's what we do, right? So we had to find out of the Blastocystis species what type it is. So if you have a parasite, you also have to figure out what its subtype is. The subtype has a lot to do with how you're going to approach eradication of it. Now, you can use things like wormwood or the Artemisia, absinthium, and annua, and you can use, clove, and you can use a lot of different therapeutic agents, right? Pennyroyal, there's a lot. But at the end of the day, it really depends upon multiple factorials that you can't determine unless you have a lab. Paragard. Paragard's weak. It's a really weak formula, and I'm not happy with it at all. And most of these Parasite Cleanse, like dropper bottles that are like 2 ounces, to complete even if you're doing it properly, you're going to need 6 bottles of them. Because the dosage is important too, right? It's like, why do we give 81 milligrams of aspirin? Why not 101? Why not 51? There's a reason. Dose means everything. Trying to figure out. Let me check my internet connection here, guys. Stand by real quick. Let me make sure I'm on. I should have a. I have a hardwired connection, so I should actually have a pretty good signal here. Bad warnings on Amazon. Yeah, I understand that. But listen, we use other therapeutic drugs for parasites, like Ivermectin, right? That's been real popular these days. Okay, so Ivermectin is that. We use fenbendazole, right? We use mebendazole. There's a bunch of different ones. So it all depends. You got to know what you're dealing with, right? You got to do it the right way. Because what happens is if you're just doing that, Dr. Draws is in the house. Another one of my proteges is here. What would you use? Sammy, it depends. If you're going after, like say, an entamoeba versus a blastocystis, right? Or dientamoeba or giardia, it depends. I will tell you this, as an integrative and functional medicine physician of 27 years, I prefer the pharmaceutical drugs, right? However, I will usually follow them up with a botanical prescription. But doing it by itself, if you have a test that substantiates that they're there, I would do the combination. Yep. So there's that, right? So parasite cleanses can be useful, but you got to know what parasite, and you got to do it for the right period of time. Some parasites have a long egg stage, okay? You've had MS for 25 years, so you're wondering. Absolutely, but I can tell you this. I always challenge the MS diagnosis to begin with because that's kind of like it's a syndrome. And so that's usually what they'll label stuff in the absence of really knowing what it is. But it is possible. But true MS usually has other configuring things. But one of the big things in common with MS is you live above the 38th parallel. Whoop. Okay? There's a big difference in circadian rhythm and sunshine. So there's that. But here's the cool thing. MS can be absolutely resolvable. Dare we say you can cure it. Okay? There you go. What about your take on psoriasis? Same thing. What like psoriasis treatment? In what regard? We talking about conventionally is immunosuppressing. That doesn't fix it. You got to figure out what's going on. EBV. Well, Epstein-Barr virus. Oh boy. I don't know if you guys are ready for this kind of a philosophy, but here's the deal. Viruses are not living. Most people don't know that. Viruses are not alive. They're not like bacteria. They're not like fungus. They're not like parasites. They're not living. They are ejected, dead tissue exosomes. This is why the medical medium, who's an absolute evil fraud, in my particular opinion, based upon all the things I've seen him say, the medical medium is an absolute fraud. And you guys can tell him I said so. That's my personal opinion. Because he's a celebrity, and everybody thinks that he knows what he's doing, but he's a total fraud. He tells everybody EBV is your problem. All that stuff. Okay, so EBV and MS is coming out, I meant. No. So, EBV is a result of unhealthy tissue, not the cause of unhealthy tissue. Yep, that's it. That's because there you have it. I mean, I wish we could get into all the philosophy of it, but that's what I have found, absolutely certainly. So we don't have to go after EBV directly, and we don't treat MS. We treat the patient. We support systems. We don't suppress symptoms. Yep. You know I got that from, oh, of course. It's LA, and celery juice fixes everything. The guy's a fraud. I'm not going to clean that up. I'll say it 10 more times, okay? The medical medium is, what he does, I believe personally, is evil. You know, this. Have you guys ever seen him do a diagnostic around people and all this celebrities? He waves his hands around them and goes, yeah, I think I got some Epstein-Barr right here. Oh, this is some whatever right here. Classic charlatan stuff, like, you know, hitting your head and making you fall back and saying, woo, you know, I just cured your cancer in the name of Jesus. What about Devic's disease? What do you mean? I'm glad you find that interesting. I know I'm a trip, Sammy. Hope that, you know, either brings you closer or say, nah, this doc is not for me, and that's totally okay. What's up, Chelsea Olson? Joining the thing, the fun here. Okay, so what we're talking about is some GI stuff, right? So when it comes down to it, we can take a look at what bacteria that you actually have in your inner tube and where you should avoid certain ones or enhance certain ones. Like, for instance, fermented foods. They're not benign. And if you eat the occasional one from time to time, they're delicious, they're tangy. I make my own kimchi, I make my own sauerkraut. But as far as being good for the gut by default, that's a misnomer. Severe eczema, sassy and classy 66. Yeah, eczema is a manifestation of an internal imbalance and a messed up biological terrain, as we say. And so it's going to manifest in the skin for you. There's only 5 causes of every disease, and they're these: nutrient deficiencies, stressors, microbes, allergens, and toxins. So, nutritional deficiencies: vitamins, minerals, amino acids, fatty acids. Stressors: this isn't just psychological or emotional stress, this is physiological stressors like temperature, like cold, like heat, like electromagnetic fields, radio frequency, Wi-Fi, circadian rhythm disruption, blue light, all that kind of fun stuff. Microbes, right? So that's bacteria, fungus, parasites, and then allergens, things in the environment, right? And then, of course, toxins when it comes to metals and molds and all kinds of fun stuff. What about gluten intolerance? C. Houston, nice to see you back. Same kind of thing. When you have gluten intolerance, you have created intolerance to that peptide strand, that pearl of peptides. And it's oftentimes due to something else. It's not the nature of the gluten protein polypeptide. It is because that came in and other stuff came in with it, and the body goes, you know what? Anytime that gluten comes in, it also brings that icky friend, so I'm going to, try to have intolerance to it so you won't eat it anymore. Being out of state from you, do you accept patients via? Yeah, we do virtual. Casey Joe, we absolutely do. Even for the GI stool testing. The only difficult state is New York, because they're communist and they don't let patients send samples out of the state. So what we do is we have you go over to New Jersey or Pennsylvania or one of the neighboring things, and we do it that way. But yes, I've been seeing patients virtually since January of 2009. I train other physicians around the world how to do that. But we see patients everywhere. So if you guys are interested in talking about this, because, this is I'm letting you guys know this is what me and my team do for a living. We help people like you in these complex chronic diseases get resolution. You can go to balanceprotocolprime.com and take that free course. A lot of air going through the lungs here, dry me out. balanceprotocolprime.com, and after you've done that, there's a place where you can book a no cost, no obligation, no sales pitch discovery call, and let's discover if we're a good match for you and you're a good match for us. Because we only work with patients who are ready to do it. Not feel good about it and talk about the weather. If you're ready to eradicate chronic disease, we're the team that does it. Hope that makes sense. Rheumatoid arthritis, happy human health coach. Same kind of thing. Rheumatoid arthritis is another Latin name it, blame it, claim it, tame it game that the medical community causes that. You have to determine what is that particular person's biological terrain, what's their environment, what's their mindset, what's their nutrition, what's their lifestyle, contributing to a manifestation of rheumatoid arthritis. And autoimmune stuff. Every disease is technically autoimmune, which is kind of funny. You got to screen for it. You have to do a proper workup. Don't treat the diagnosis. okay? Because common medications are not the cause or a deficiency thereof of what for rheumatoid arthritis. You can resolve rheumatoid arthritis. Just got on, can you help with diabetes? Not only can we help with diabetes, we can teach you how to resolve diabetes. There are certain states of type 1 where there's complete organ failure where we can't do that because there's limits, just like we can't regrow a limb. But type 2 diabetes, absolutely reversible, okay? IBS, ABS 222. Yes, irritable bowel syndrome. You can have a probiotic dysbiosis from eating all kinds of fermented foods and probiotic pills. And you have too much of the good bacteria strains. You can have parasites like blastocystis causing that. And if you don't know what type it is, right, with the genotype, you can't properly treat it. You can have a fungal infection in the bowel. You can have Klebsiella and Citrobacter's overgrowth contributing to IBS. Here's the thing. What's the differential diagnosis? Well, I'll show you. Let me show you this part of his lab report. Show you something really cool. Okay. So what's the difference between IBS and IBD? Well, principally it's blood, but it would be this marker right here. Okay, calprotectin and eosinophil protein X, okay? So, inflammation and immunological. If this is negative or normal, your situation is different, right? So, there you have it. So, we take a look at what your pancreas's ability to break down food, your short-chain fatty acids, of your how much fecal fat is coming through. People who are like, say, hey, I'm going keto because I want to lose weight. And they start driving in all these boluses of fat, and they don't know that you keep throwing that fat through, and your body doesn't have the capacity to metabolize it, to digest it, and absorb it. You're contributing to a dysbiosis and an imbalance in the bowel, which can lead to a whole cascade of problems just because you were trying to go keto. Keto has its therapeutic benefit, qualified through the context of the unique patient. So we look at that. See these here? These are your metabolic markers, short-chain fatty acids like butyrate and so forth, and beta-glucuronidase. A lot of times people go, oh, you got hormone problems, or you're on bioidentical hormone replacement therapy. We use that as a tool too. But herein lies the problem. If your doc is giving you hormones and you have excessive beta-glucuronidase, that's an enzyme produced by the microbial status in your GI, which deconjugates steroidal hormones like estrogens, plural. And then your body reuptakes them. And you wonder why you keep having these upheavals and PCOS and everything like that. Because the microbes in your GI are producing an enzyme that breaks down how the liver packaged it to put it into the poop so you can get rid of it. Hopefully that makes sense. Granddaughter has chronic stomach ache. Candy apple, and there's there. Depends on how old she is. We have to, is it a variety of things? It could be H. pylori, yes, even in a granddaughter. I don't know how old your granddaughter is. It could be a whole lot of things. It could be insufficient pepsin and production in the GI, which is one of the reasons why I come at the Kangen cash cult. The KKK, the Kangen cash cult. Go watch my other videos on Kangen. If you keep driving in alkalized water that's made from electrocution, running city tap water over a lame 5-micron filter only, and then splitting it, and then driving in all these negative OH hydroxyls into your stomach, you're going to create stomach and gastrointestinal problems. It's coming for you on a freight train. Don't drink that damn Kangen water. Lupus feels like spine has systematic bruising, but there's nothing there. Amy, that could be one of those places where it could be a variety of some of those things. Heavy metals, mycotoxins from mold, parasites, different chemistry in the GI, which produces stuff in the lymph, and then the lymph goes there. There's so many things. Amy's massage. Listen, massage is the bomb. That is another unsung hero in the health world, is the rub. So anyways, again, see, we don't treat lupus. We treat the patient. And we do it through an integrative and functional medicine model known as Balanced Protocol. Currently have COVID lung and have been taking albuterol and budesonide daily. It's giving me a stomach pain. Is that normal? Oh, yeah. See, you're treating something. You shouldn't be doing that, right? So, in other words, oh, man, COVID lung. Where do we start? Jeez. I don't buy the diagnosis of COVID. Yes, SARS-CoV-2 is real, but I take exception to the COVID diagnoses. And of course, steroids and stuff like that is not going to be the fix. And if it's, I don't know your whole story, so I can't tell you, shorty. Bless your heart, love you. Though I don't know you, but my heart goes out to that case. I just think there's more to it. That's the problem when you treat a disease as opposed to supporting the whole patient. So what do I do? Amy, so what you do is this, okay? Greg, Pabst is better than water anyways. It's kind of hard to argue that. No, I love a nice blue ribbon. Anyways, what you should do, of course, you need help from qualified people. That's what I'm going to pitch you, okay? I'm a capitalist. I'm going to tell you that. But find out if it resonates with you first. You can go to balanceprotocolprime.com, balanceprotocolprime.com. Take those 3 modules, understand what my principles, tenets, and philosophy is. And if that resonates with you, you can grab a no cost or obligation discovery call. We'll spend about 20, 30 minutes together. I'll ask you some questions. You can ask me some questions, and then I can give you some advice on what you should do from there. That's it. It's just like, hey, listen, Doc, can I ask you a question? We're at a party, having a little gin and tonic. That kind of stuff. So that's what we do. BalanceProtocolPrime.com is going to be my invite to everybody here on the call. I'm a riot. Sassy, thank you. My mama raised me right, and I'm from North Carolina, so we get a little crazy sometimes. What's the best water to drink? Jeep Girl Dawn. The best water to drink. I love it. I did a TikTok on that. Guys, go watch that. But I'll go ahead and tell you. The best water, everybody uses the best, is water that is free from chemicals and pollutants and rich in a variety of minerals. That's the best water to drink. Now, here's the fun thing. Something to think about. Things that make you go, Every water that you consume was pooped and peed in before. Every bit of it, every drop at one time was pooped or peed in. Fact, okay? That's what happens, right? Well, it's in the ocean. There's lots of animals that poop and pee in there. Rivers and streams and lakes, poop and pee in there. In the aquifers, all kinds of stuff. So tap water is treated, and here's the other thing. There's all kinds of medications. Remember, this big pharma problem that we have in the United States? Everybody's on, multiple drugs. Well, guess where those go? Right into the toilet bowl. They go into the water, which is why you can't run them through electrocution machines like Kangen or any of those other things. You should put it through a proper multi-stage reverse osmosis system and then put the minerals back in with a remineralizer. And I'm doing TikTok videos on that for you guys as we speak. My digital media team is editing the videos, so be sure to subscribe. Follow me or whatever they call it on here. I'm still learning, I guess, is follow. Subscribe. It's YouTube, which I have a YouTube channel too, by the way. If you guys go up to my bio, you'll see a link to where you can go to all the places where I put longer form information. But that's the best water, Jeep Girl. Make your own. Stop buying bottled water. And think it has to be paid for alkaline. Yes, alkaline made because of minerals, not because of artificially putting in negative charge hydroxyls from electrocuting it. I just got AquaTrue. Alley Girl, decent machine. Just low and slow and takes forever. And you still need to remineralize it, but not a bad countertop, machine to do your water. I have well water and add either trace minerals or Soleil water. Is that okay? No, you must treat well water. You want to know where you get some of these parasites that we screen for? Well water. They're known for it. The cysts are in there. So do not drink untreated well water. I don't care if you don't put chemicals and stuff around your house and whatever. I just don't trust it. I've seen the problem. If you put trace mineral drops in there, that's a great thing, but it should put an RO system. You can get a whole house system that covers well water, non-salt. Costs you about $1,200 to $1,500, and it'll last you 10 years. You can go to Aquasana or APEC, APEC. You can buy both of them damn things online. You can go to Aquasana, and I don't even have an affiliate link for you. That's what I've used in houses. I have an APEC system. And then at your point of source for your water that you're going to drink, or use your ice cubes, or make ice cubes for your cocktails like this. RO, and then remineralize it. That's what you should do. Let's see here. Bang, bang, bang. That stuff is linked to. Okay, great. Dr. B is a trip. What's up, Dr. Draws? Nice to have you in the house. Another one of my physician students is here. I've had 2 of them show up tonight. That's great. Yes, you're in an apartment. You bought the trace meals. Fantastic, Allie girl. Go, girl, go. There you go. That's as simple as that. Watch my video that I posted today, and I'll tell you some of the minerals that I put in there. Okay, things like sodium bicarb, but no, it doesn't reduce cellulite or make you lose weight. That's all bullshit, TikTok. Potassium bicarb, there's a couple different magnesiums. It's how I do it. I teach you how to make it. Yep, well water, no good. Could it be? Yes. Am I kind of giving a blanket statement? Okay, I'm guilty. But I would rather be safe than sorry when it comes to my water. You can't mess around with it. It is so critical. Ozone water. Dustin, great question. Therapeutically, it has a place in the clinical setting. Just ozonating water, not wise to do that. It also depends upon what's in the water when it's ozonated, right? Like, don't ozonate well water and then drink it. That's a big no-no. See, the context means everything. Let's see here. That's your next purchase. Atta girl, do that. It's a lot of fun. You're welcome, Allie girl. Thank you so much, too. That's why I'm here. Yep. Dr. Draws, there you go. Dr. B is the best in functional medicine. Oh, thanks, Steph. It's nice to give me a little shout out. I love my students. They're awesome. What's the best university in the United States for functional medicine? It is called Balanced Protocol Institute. BalancedProtocolInstitute.com. My university. Because Institute for Functional Medicine sucks. All of them stink. I'm very aware of all the programs out there. You can't learn from Functional Medicine University. That's a pathetic, you can spend $3,000 like this dude Evan Brand out there and, pretend like you're a functional medicine practitioner. These functional health coach universities where you get your little certificate, those people suck too. I'm sorry, I'm just going to tell you straight up. The reason is because there's not adequate education in those. They literally pay a couple $1,000, watch an array of videos, and they call themselves functional. Big problem. Okay. So there you go. What's the universe? So if you are a healthcare practitioner and you want to learn functional and integrative medicine, you got to come to me. Balanced Protocol Institute. Thoughts on all sea moss? Sea moss is a great food. It's a great food. Yeah, you're going to be consuming things that grew out. Yeah. Sea moss is delicious. So is chlorella. So is spirulina. So is purple dulse and kelp. All these different things. I love sea vegetables. But it's not the end all to begin all. And no, it doesn't have all 102 essential minerals or 98 of the 102. That's all talking points. I have sea moss in my refrigerator right now. There's a proper way to make it, and I haven't seen it on TikTok yet. I'm making you guys a video. There's a right way and a wrong way. A lot of people are washing off the vast majority of the minerals when they make it. Distilled water, sassy and classy. You can do distilled if you put the minerals back. If you put the minerals back, and you have to have enough up there, okay? Yeah, sea moss, listen, it's just a food. It's a fun other thing to put in. It's just like chia seeds. Chia seeds aren't going to save you from disease. I saw this TikTok where this girl said, I'm a functional or an integrative physician or something, and I start my day with, chia seeds and water because it makes water. I was like, what? Totally. And if you're going to eat chia seeds, yes, they'll swell up like frog eggs, but you have to grind them up if you're going to get any benefit from them. It has more omega-3s than fish, and it has more protein than this. Not if you're just soaking it in water or coconut water. You have to grind them up. Your body's not going to break down those seeds. It's a great little thing to add for a lot of things, but anyways, you get me started. That's the way I look at sea moss too. It's just another thing. Where can I buy a water system in Canada? Jennifer, you guys have Amazon.ca. Check there. Look for APEC, APEC, or Aquasana, I think, sells to Canada as well. What about UV light on a well system? Yes. If you do have a well system, you need to put a UV light system on that to really do it right. That is correct. Nicole, Joseph. What is colloidal silver water? Sarah asks, colloidal silver is basically where they take a silver bar, an anode, and stick it in a cathode, and they put it in a menstruum, and they run water. The herbalist in me, the menstruum. And they run electricity through it, and it basically dissolves the silver into the water. I caution people making their own silver. First of all, it's colloidal, which means it's just a charged, suspended particle in the water. It should be an ionic, and it should be an angstrom in size, like what I have made for me, and it should have no color. It shouldn't be blue, it shouldn't be yellow, it shouldn't be nothing. The particle size of the silver makes all the difference in the world. And then dose. Source, form, dose, frequency, and duration. If you are taking like 5 or 10 parts per million of a colloidal silver, you're not in the therapeutic range. It starts at 100. So there's that. What degree do you need prior to your institute? It depends upon it. You don't have to have a degree. It's about your background. I've trained individuals who have a background in biology or a bachelor's in chemistry. It depends upon where you're at when it comes to training in my institute. Okay? You do not have to be a doctor or a physician's assistant or nurse practitioner or whatever. Topic request, glutathione and other binders. Sarah, I will do that. Glutathione and other binders. I'll tell you real quick. Glutathione, don't take it preformed orally because your stomach and your duodenum, or your duodenum if you're sexy, is going to break it down into the 3 peptides that it is. It's a complete waste of money to take oral, preformed, even if it's liposomal, glutathione. It's a complete waste. Clinically, I know that to be true. If you want to increase glutathione and you want to supplement for that, we do use N-acetylcysteine. Very useful for doing that. Of course, trying to take that off the market because it's very effective. It's been around for decades, and they realize that it helps clear mucus from the lungs when you've had a respiratory infection, and we don't want people getting well in the days of the COVID. We can't say the word or we get enough. So there's that. But a good quality whey protein will boost glutathione also, but you require your magnesium levels to be at a correct thing for your body to make glutathione. This is a test I do for minerals in patients. Magnesium, you should always check red blood cell magnesium, not serum, to know if you have adequate magnesium. It must be RBC, and you need to be preferably 40 to 55 micrograms per gram. Okay, parts per million. So you have to test in order to know. So that's my thing on glutathione. Binders, yes. It depends upon what you're trying to bind. Are you going to use a physical or a constructional binder? Are you using a chemical binder? Or are you using an electrochemistry binder? It depends, right? So bentonite clay, zeolites, psyllium husk, chia seed. There's a bunch of different binders, and yes, they're needed when you're doing a lot of different protocols. Take chlorella and spirulina. I don't know if that's sufficient, but those are pretty awesome. I'm going to tell you that right now. I'd rather have chlorella and spirulina over sea moss 10 days to Sunday. But I tend to mix them because I like to variety and diverse. I don't want my body to get adapted to just one source. Been drinking water from a natural spring, open Mainzixer. Yeah, it could be. It changes, right? So spring water is lovely. Nature is the litmus test. I just no longer trust natural spring water anywhere anymore because I've done enough water tests to do it. And the test costs $250 to do, and that's the same cost it would cost you to buy an RO system. So why do the test when you can go ahead and buy the system and cover your ass? Why grind chia seeds? Because if you're going to get the benefit like the fatty acids and the proteins in there, you got to grind up the chia seeds. I know, right? People don't think about this. You just swallow them. It's like flaxseed. Everybody ever seen a flaxseed? Yeah, try swallowing a flaxseed and see if your linoleic acid is going to go. See if your omega-3 goes up. You'll be pooping out solid Little flax seeds thinking that they're parasites. Sprouting broccoli sprouts. Amen, Jennifer Heinrich 91. Can I get a high five and an amen? I love me some sprouts, particularly broccoli sprouts. They smell like farts. They taste awful. But yes, it creates a sulforaphane, which does a lot of wonderful things in the blood, not just for the liver. Elevated amylase in labs. Intense abdominal pains. Yeah, see, that's a clue. So why would we have elevated amylase? What could be contributing to that? We should deduce that from the patient's story. You've relied on well water. Would you use something else with it? Yes. So you on a well water, number one, you're going to have a sediment filter first to catch all the sand and other big stuff. Then you're going to have another pre-filter to grab a lot of the ferrous material, the iron and all that kind of stuff. Then what you need to do is it needs to go through a carbon. Then it needs to go through a KDF, which is an ion exchange, and then it needs to go through UV, and then boom, another sediment filter to catch any last minute ones, and then delivered to the tap. Had to go. Sorry, I forgot. Had to go to ER. Oof, mess. That's rough. Love colloidal silver. Jeep Grow. Yeah, listen, it can be good, but I've just seen it go awry. Is it going to turn you blue? Our diarrhea. You'd have to drink a whole lot of it, but be mindful. It's everything that has potential to help has potential to harm. Never forget that. Okay. Where's your practice located? Dustin, we are in Kissimmee, Florida. Kissimmee. Just down the road from the happiest place on earth, World Disney World. What do you think about the keto diet? IG Hightower. I dated a Hightower back in the day. She was a Texas Aggie. Anyways. That was freshman year. Anyways, Hightower. And she was 6'1". And I'm a 5'8". Anyways, aside from that. Keto diet, it has its place therapeutically. It's contraindicated for a lot of people. Lots of people. I'll give an example. Let me show you. Okay, so this is a metabolic test that I do on patients. This particular patient right here, their carbohydrate metabolism was over here to the left. Okay, so they have an insufficiency of lactic and pyruvic. So that means how their body is producing energy in the citric acid cycle, also known as this. Okay, fats, carbohydrates, and proteins, they all become acetyl-CoA. They all go into this engine inside of the mitochondria to produce what? Water. Did you guys know that? Most people don't know that you are a water-making machine. That's the end result, is to make water and heat in the form of light. So we're all beings of light. We produce water and light. You have to say it like that. Anyways, so you can drive in fat, okay, to make beta-hydroxybutyric or ketones go elevated, okay? But you're presupposing you have the ability to metabolically create energy from fats. If this pathway is broken and you are on a keto diet, you're going to suck. Then also, if your GI, if your poop, if you already have excessive dietary fat, fecal fat, like this, because I'm going to go keto. So I'm going to take all these big fat bombs, right? Oh, man, I love me some fat bombs, right? Well, guess what? You're assuming that your ass is going to have the ability to handle all those boluses of fat. Like your liver and your gallbladder is going to keep up. Like your GI can handle it. It's not true. So sometimes it's correct. Sometimes it's not. And that's what I'm going to say for vegan, carnivore, Mediterranean, blah, 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 blah. They're just clinical tools. The key is to know which one is for you and which one is not based upon labs. You can't do it from muscle testing. You can't do it based upon premise or all that crap. They don't know you. Like, I don't know you. I can't tell you. Training in your institute. No biology background. A person and daughter full of AI issues want to learn. Well, here's what you do. Go to balanceprotocolinstitute.com, submit the application. We'll look at it. I'll talk to you on a call, and we'll determine. It's really that simple. I appreciate your interest. Good to know. Scrolling up here. I appreciate you guys commenting. Hey, if you can do me a favor, if this resonates with you and you enjoy it and you want to keep me motivated to keep coming back and teaching you guys some fun things, show some love, however that works. Share this with people. Let them know that I'm on. Have them come watch. Ask questions. I love requests on videos you want me to do. Okay, I'm scrolling here. Do you treat naturally? A lot of things. I treat all things naturally. But with pharmaceutical drugs sometimes too. I'm being facetious. Yes, sir. So not all things, listen, naturally. Like feces is natural and organic. You got to be careful with the term naturally. Okay, I am not a holistic practitioner. I am not an alternative medicine practitioner. Okay? Nah. Okay? I've earned 2 medical degrees, 4 national medical board certifications, and an international fellowship, and I've been practicing for 27 years. Okay, I train other doctors now principally. Okay, so at the end of the day, it's what works. Integrative and functional medicine is the field closest to it. Number 1 supplement or superfood you recommend. Okay, number 1 is sunshine. That's my number 1 supplement of all time. Yep, full spectrum, light. Bet you weren't expecting that. How about hydrogen in water? Listen, Don Brown, hydrogen has its place. But, okay, like for instance, in metabolism, right? If we're looking at this, okay, and the difference between lactic and pyruvic, right? Lactic acid is basically where we take lactate and the body attaches a hydrogen to it. So remember, that moving of that hydrogen matters. And if you're driving in hydrogen, don't try drinking it to a large degree because you're never going to get enough in through oral consumption. Breathing in hydrogen gas, different story. So breathing it in versus swallowing it, 2 different contexts. The next thing, yes, hydrogen has a lot of high potential for therapeutic benefit in the context of the right person. With every person it's correct for, there's going to be another person where it's not correct for, and it can be contraindicated. So it's kind of like it's the same thing as saying that about everything. Fish oils, PUFAs, ribeye, Wagyu, oysters, whatever, wheat, corn. In balanced protocol, we eat anything and everything as long as it doesn't make you throw up, shit your pants, intoxicate you, or give you an adverse reaction. No food is demonized. You can eat all of it, from the hooter to the tooter, and every plant that grows on the planet. What can I eat to prevent skin from further sagging? Nothing. Doesn't work like that. You can't eat something to prevent it from further sagging. You got to change your chemistry, and then you have to go after that skin with some type of controlled therapeutic trauma, okay? Whether it be intense pulse light, with or without radio frequency, dermal rollers, you can poke holes in stuff. You can do chemical peels and CO2 lasers and all kinds of fun stuff. But that's when it comes to sagging skin. You've lost cholinergic, from collagen. And your internal chemistry, the skin is sagging. It can be recovered, but that's it. Will joint juice and Jell-O help? No. You can drink all the collagen, hydrolyzed or not, and Jell-O, and it ain't going to tighten up your skin. It does not work like that. Now, if you increase hydration and whatever, and it can look like it tightened it, but did it really tighten the skin? No. Like my skin. I live in Florida. I'm 50 years old, right? But I don't have all that saggy skin because I prevent it, right? Like your A&M story. No, Dustin, I'm not from Texas. I'm from North Carolina. But I'm a Roll Tide family, so. Tracy, you're in Orlando. Are you accepting? Yes, Tracy, we are. We're opening the new facility over in Kissimmee, over off of Point Siena and 1792. You can go to balanceprotocolmc.com. That's Balance Protocol Medical Center. Balance Protocol MC. We are a concierge medical practice, so we cover all your primary and acute care stuff to where you don't even need that lousy-ass insurance anymore. So how cool is that? So there's all kinds of fun stuff. Do you see kids 12 and 9 years old? We're in Orlando. Nicole, we absolutely do. Yep, love me some O-Town. And we are not purveyors or promoters of vaccinations, so we take unvaccinated patients and specialize in vaccine injury recovery. Okay, How can diabetes 2 be reversed? Well, Sarah, by treating the patient, by finding the underlying multiple causes that are contributing to the body manifesting in having blood glucose dysregulation, insulin resistance, and all the things that go along with it. Diabetes type 2 could be due to excessive electromagnetic fields and excessive body voltage and bad circadian rhythm and all kinds of stuff, not related to carbohydrate consumption. How much water should you actually drink per day? And I have a Berkey water filtration system. Okay, Janelle Coulter. I typically recommend 2.3 liters for women because your typical size and range. For men, 3.1 liters. There's your numbers. So that's how. In addition to properly hydrated, healthy, minimally, if non-processed foods, fruits, vegetables, grains, meats, all of it. So that's about right. Berkey is okay. It's not superior. I'm not the biggest fan of it. I'm too bougie. I don't want to keep pouring water into the top and pouring water into the top. I'd rather just have it on tap, and it goes right through my inline remineralizer, so I get it on demand. When you do something on demand, you increase your consistency. Can you please flip the camera? Well, it's TikTok. It doesn't have to be vertical. How would I flip it? Would it make it like wide-wise? Like landscape? I don't know if you can do that on TikTok. I'm new to the TikTok game, so if it doesn't look that good. Gallstones can't do keto. Well, here's the thing, Jennifer. We can get rid of those gallstones. That's for damn sure. We'll dissolve and flush those suckers right out. Yep. Okay, so that's that. Yes, in Orlando, we're taking new patients. Even if you're not in Orlando, we're taking new patients. One of the things I always am going to recommend is that you go to balanceprotocolprime.com. Balance Protocol, Prime, Prime.com. Take that free course. Learn about my method, what it is, what I mean. You'll find out that I'm not obtuse. I'm not dogmatic. It's not one diet fits all. It's not demonizing poo-foos or demonizing grains or demonizing meat or demonizing this. None of that. I don't do any of that fruity biscuits crap. None of that. Let's see here. Great questions, guys. Oh, man, I love you guys. Thank you so much for interacting with me tonight. It means a lot. Love my content. Share it all the time. Robin Gloria Official. Well, I love you. And my little picture, you look absolutely gorgeous. So that's wonderful. It's always nice to see. I tried doing a whole food plant-based, and it seems like I gain weight. Yeah, you can. Tutalu. That's the other thing. You guys want to know something? I have a $100,000 check for anybody who wants to take my calorie deficit bullshit challenge. That calories in, calories out, you lose weight as long as you're in a caloric deficit is categorically false. And if you know anybody who purveys it, you send them my way and they put up $100,000 and I'll put up $100,000 and we'll see who walks away with it. I don't mean to be cocky. I'm having fun with it. I cut my teeth in sports medicine, exercise physiology in undergrad. So personal trainer for 12 years. I'm very familiar with the realm. You don't have to have a caloric deficit to lose weight. And what is losing weight? We're talking about water. We're talking about fat. We're talking about muscle. It's all context. Yep, you can go plant-based and you can gain weight. You can go meatitarian, carnivore, and gain weight. You can go vegan and gain weight. And all those, you can lose weight too. It depends upon, here's your thing. You guys want a book recommendation? How about this? Go ahead and flood Amazon. I don't have an affiliate link for you. Biochemical Individuality by Roger J. Williams. Okay? Everybody is a category 1. I'm famous for saying it. Okay? Your stomach is not the same shape and size as everybody else. Your liver, same thing. Your intestines, same thing. So then it doesn't function the same in every Homo sapien. It doesn't matter if you're male or female. We're all different. The only way to know how you're different is by doing labs that differentiate. You got to get some blood, not blood work. You got to do some pee. You got to do some poop. You got to do some saliva, sometimes hair. And you got to find out what makes you different than everybody else. Don't treat disease. So find out what biochemical individuality is and you'll be set on the path. What's your thoughts on Pregnenolone, Jennifer? I love me some Pregnenolone. I have a subspecialty and in resolving traumatic brain injury. kind of famous for that. That's what I do as my philanthropy for the military special forces out there. We have a lot of guys. You can go over to DrAnthonyGbeck.com. That's DrAnthonyGbeck.com. And scroll down about halfway, and you can watch the stories of my patients. Mike Day, who is a Navy SEAL. He's got a great book out, Perfectly Wounded, where he tells his story. He was shot 27 times, blown up by a grenade, survived, came to, smoked all those fools, and then came to me and says I saved his life. So we got him off all that polypharmacy and things like that. It's a great story. You can also get the story of my we're family. Andrew Marr, he was on the Joe Rogan podcast 3 different times with my colleague, Dr. Gordon. We changed his life. He just had a great documentary come out telling his story called Quiet Explosions, where we tell his tale where we took him from the brink of suicide and waking up in the middle of the night and punching his wife in the face because he had traumatic brain injury, and they called it PTSD, and he actually just had traumatized brain stuff. And part of my protocol in resolving traumatic brain injury is the neurosteroid known as Pregnenolone. Long answer to a short question, Jennifer. What about diabetics? What about it? Type 2 diabetes is entirely reversible. What do you know about PCOS? Ashley Darn, I know a lot about PCOS. Particularly, it is a largely misdiagnosed thing. Anytime you have polycystic ovary, anything that's a syndrome, that's your clue that medicine doesn't know what the hell it is. Chronic fatigue, and syndrome, okay? Things like that. We don't treat PCOS. We treat the system's biology, and we get PCOS resolution for free. What about CMT with a NPI? Can I take your course? Yeah. You can take my course. You don't have to have any of that stuff, Amy. As far as Balanced Protocol Institute and going through the training, yeah, it's expensive, and it's a big commitment. It's a full-on educational program. It's not just a couple of simple stuff. It's a year commitment to train with me personally. You actually get to the root cause of the issue to heal the person, not throw an RX to keep sick. That's exactly right, G. Now listen, sometimes we need pharmaceutical medications. Sometimes we need nutraceuticals. Sometimes we need both. But we're always guided by your patient story and lab. Once you get to a place where it's better, we stop taking it. That's the beautiful thing about it. And ultimately, the ultimate goal is to not need us doctors. You're going to get on the hell on with life. Learn. That's why doctor is Latin for docere, which is the same term for teacher. We should be teaching you. Okay, mid-manual lymphedema therapist as well. Oh, man. Amy, come on, girl. You got to get with it. I love it. There a supplement that decreases melanin production in the body. Sarah Bell, not directly, but I would wonder why you would want to decrease melanin production anyways. A lot of times people have melanin production issues because it's a copper deficiency or toxicity. And of course, we'll call it vitiligo. If you have splotchy skin and stuff like that, that has to do with copper. I've noticed power breathing definitely affects my stomach activity. Temperature, absolutely. Listen, in Balanced Protocol, in my first key, it's called the environmental inputs. It's air, water, light, sound, electromagnetic fields, EMF, and then the 6th one is food. That's where you start. You have to learn to breathe. Everybody needs to be a nose breather, not a mouth breather. And you can learn to breathe. It's the Bruteco method. It's fantastic. There's a great book out there by Patrick McCowan called Oxygen Advantage. That'll change your life. Whole food plant-based diet. I had higher triglycerides and my weight went up. Yep, seen it a lot. Ain't that something? Lord Jesus, I thought you were 38 to 40. Nope, 50 years old. Half a century, baby. I work from home. Had my vitamin D checked. It was 8.9. Scary. They gave me 5,000 D2. Is that correct? Oh, that's wrong as hell, shorty. Son of a bleep. Well, first of all, I'm presuming you're talking about your 25-OH vitamin D. 8.9 is not good, but it depends upon what your 1,25 hydroxy active form is, and it might be fine, which is why you can have a lower 25-OH and not really be symptomatic. But don't drive it up, number one. Number two, nobody, I repeat, nobody under any circumstance should ever take 5,000 IU of vitamin D. Not D2, not D3. Third thing, D2 sucks. Don't take no damn D2. It is worthless garbage. If you want vitamin D, get UV irradiation. I teach patients how to make your own UV light setup. Kind of like this, a tripod with a light and a little photographic umbrella in the background. Costs you about $100. And we use reptile UV lights. So those of you who can't get UV, you can make your own. Number 2, you can buy a Sperti, S-P-E-R-T-I, Sperti lamp. And that's how you should be getting your D. From light. Damn it. I don't understand that people aren't told more of that. And now that I've calmed down, a little passionate about that. The thing is I get it year round for free in Florida. But here's the deal. You can take 2,000 to 5,000 IU as a max dose. But you got to understand, the dose when it comes to vitamin D has a half-life, right? About every 3 days. So you don't have to take 5,000 IUs daily or 2,000 daily. You could do it every other or every third day and you would maintain levels. But that might be too much for what you guys would do. Thoughts on metformin for insulin-resistant symptoms of Pcos? Sarah, yes, it's a useful medication for that. It also has some effect on mTOR and some other things as a medication for doing that. Sometimes we leverage it for a temporary stop-loss gap while we fix the biological terrain nutriently, okay? Minerals, vitamins, amino acids, fatty acids. That's how you heal anything and everything ultimately. Music to my ears. Ash, great. About the vaccine, you rock. Yeah, there's no need. I've never been vaccinated in my life. Not a single one. Not one. Nope, none. My mom knew better. And the reason why is because my mom was put into a coma before I was born by a high-dose prednisone shot. And then she came out a type 1 diabetic. Doctors killed her pancreas. So she had to shoot up for the rest of her life. See, in that case, whatever. And so, yeah, we didn't go to the doctor and that kind of fun stuff. I've never been vaccinated. I have 3 daughters, and they've never had a single shot in their life either. And they all are lovely and delicious, just like their dad. Do you work with patients with prior stem cell transplants or heart surgery? Yep, we sure do. Of course. We don't discriminate like that. Matter of fact, we're a game changer. Let's see here. Man, these are great questions. I love you guys. This really means the world to me. I thank you so much. This is my dopamine hit, man. This is what's making me want to be on here longer. Okay. Like, Dr. B, shouldn't you be with your wife on a Friday night? Yeah, she's with the princesses. They're in there playing Fortnite. I came here to spend time with you guys and drink my gin and tonic. Let's see here. 5-HT agonists. Microdosing like LSD and mushrooms, Cerebell, they have their place. I don't know if you guys are in the podcast world or anything like that. I tend to be a physician to a lot of people in the health and wellness space, one of which is Ben Greenfield. You can go to bengreenfieldfitness.com, and I've been on his podcast 3 times, and we talk about certain stuff like that. There are places for psychedelics and things of that nature, but the vast majority of people do not need them, and there are contraindications for them, so I would avoid those. But yes, sometimes we need to use the ibogaine and sometimes, different molecules to have an experience so people can get out of their head so they can have the wherewithal to heal. And I do that a lot with the military special forces, yes. You are gorgeous. Mark. Oh, I know who that Mark is. What's up, Mark? New daddy in the house. Let's see here. Factor V Leiden folks who are higher risk for blood clots / food avoid clots. Yes, Cerebella, that Leiden we can turn it on, we can turn it off. The cool thing is that's a factor of the electrochemistry in the blood, both our arteries and veins, and we adjust that with minerals, and that gets taken care of. And then of course your membranes are and what the composition of your fatty acids are in order to do that. Which water remineralization systems are best? Thank you. That's Geneva. I use an inline system. I have a video coming out on that, so I don't remember the name of it, but it has 6 different layers in it. Works in absolutely wonderful. And I'm going to teach you guys how to do it. Because my thing is, I want to teach you to make your own damn water. If you spend $250 on a multi-stage RO and about $50, so $300 out the door, you will have unlimited water on tap forever, and it'll cost you about 1 penny per gallon. Holy crap. We save the plastic, we save all that crap, and we keep that money away from the Kangen cash cult. Can you help with receding gums that need grafting? Yes, you can. Again, when it comes to your teeth, all right, you have to understand that they're a living tissue. Every tooth has its own dedicated nerve, artery, and vein. It is living, alive tissue. And it is a byproduct, okay, of your internal chemistry, okay? And your gums will reflect that, okay? So if you correct your internal chemistry and you feed your teeth, yes, you can remineralize and feed your teeth, all that stuff comes back with proper dental care, and that's it. I have not been to a dentist in over 15 years. Nope. I haven't had my teeth cleaned professionally, nothing. I take care of my own stuff. Over 15 years. I said, I'm not going back to the dentist. I don't need to be paying anybody to floss me and scrub my teeth. I can do it on my own. You need to lose 100 pounds. What would you start with? Allie, I would start with balanceprotocolprime.com and go from there. Don't ever worry about losing weight. Gain health. If you get health through doing it the right way in the context of you, supported by functional labs, the weight comes off effortlessly. That's how it works. Jennifer, thank you. That's incredible. Share, let people know. Help me grow on this platform. I want to ask you guys to be a part of it. The reason why I'm asking you and I want your help is because I have been busy being a clinician for 27 years. I'm not out there being an influencer and a blogger and a YouTuber, and doing, fancy, dances. I'm not doing all that stuff, right? I'm here to give you information. Now, I can't tell you everything because I don't know you. Right? So you're going to ask me different things and I'm going to go, it depends. It's context. Like, man, can't this guy give me a damn answer? That is the answer. Okay? You can't dangle a pendulum. You can't rub a crystal in your armpit, sleep under a pyramid, and do a past life regression or just eat right for your blood type or do a whole bunch of medical medium bullshit. And it's not true. It is just not. I challenge anybody. I'll debate anybody. Okay, what's the name of the book again? What book? I think I talked about Biochemical Individuality by Roger Williams. It's a great book. Signed up for Balance Protocol just now. Thank you, Shorty. Oh, wonderful. Hopefully we get to talk to you soon. Resveratrol, Sarah Bell. Man, Sarah Bell, you're awesome. 0007, not 007, 0007. Yeah, resveratrol is great. But here's the deal. Dose is everything. You sure as hell ain't going to get it from red wine unless you drink 4 bottles. Some people go, I don't see a problem with that. Okay, so there's that. What's the best BPM heart rate zone during exercise to burn fat without increasing cortisol? Sarah Bell, I love you. First of all, there's no such thing as burning fat. Do you guys know that? There's no damn thing as burning anything. Your body is 98.6 degrees. Sometimes internal, it's about 100. It's totally healthy. You're not burning anything. Let me show y'all something, okay? Okay, this is Nutritional Biochemistry 101. You eat fats, carbohydrates, and proteins, they get electrochemically transformed. This right here is this is chemicals. It has nothing to do with heat. You're not burning anything. That should change and blow your mind. There's no such thing as being in a fat burning zone. There's dudes on here saying, well, you're either a fat burner or a sugar burner. No, you're not. That's not true at all. You're not burning anything. There's no combustion. It's electrochemistry. This is the adding and removing of carbons and the shuttling of hydrogen. That's what that is, you guys. So there's no. Now to come back to that, I have done thousands of VO2 max tests, okay, and basal metabolic rates and stuff in the lab. Kind of a big deal in the Spartan race world and when it comes to that kind of fun stuff because my athletes take the podiums. But anyways, the point here is this. The formula, which gets you in an anaerobic zone, we take the 220 minus your age and take a percentage of that, which is generally about 75 to 80%. That's your heart rate beats per minute. But you got to have 3 things in play. Number 1, your heart rate has to be there and sustain there. Number 2, you have to have venous return. Your arms and limbs have to be moving. And number 3, you have to be weight bearing. So you're not going to do it and induce that metabolic chemistry if you don't have a good situation, like swimming and stuff like that. Oh, man, here we go. Let's get caught up here. Coconut oil sat fat is so high, risks and benefits of eating use oil pulling bacteria. Yes, you can use oil pulling in your teeth, very healthful. And then, of course, brush your teeth with calcium hydroxyapatite. But here's the deal. Let me show you guys this. We also do a fatty acid profile on all our patients. Okay, so we look at your omega-3s, your 6s, your saturated fats, your MUFAs and your PUFAs, and the enzyme that moves them. Okay, so if you're consuming too much of any fat or oil, you can imbalance the body. Okay, so too much saturated fat changes the membrane permeability, just like too much PUFAs, polyunsaturated fats, can make them hyperpermeable. So you have to have a balance. Okay, so don't just eat, the way to do it is to eat a very diverse diet. Eat everything. All right, 16 and 19-year-old, what do you do? Low dopamine. Nicole Joseph, how did you determine that there's low dopamine? The first thing it is, I'm going to challenge the question, the presupposition. Toodaloo. This is so refreshing, thank you, but definitely I need to change my old ways of thinking. You do. Balance Protocol is the way to do it. BalanceProtocolPrime.com. That'll give you the red pill like you've never been red pill before. And if it doesn't, it just costs you about 5 hours a time, no dollars. Where do you find the hydroxyapatite, a powder or the toothpaste out there? Okay, what I do is I'm a big fan of Uncle Harry's tooth powder. You can get it on Amazon. It's delicious. But then I mix calcium hydroxyapatite. You can get it in capsules. I think Now brand makes some. And then you mix that 2 to 3 parts Uncle Harry's tooth powder to 1 part hydroxyapatite powder. I put it in a coffee grinder and make it a finer powder. And then I just take a wet toothbrush, put it in there, and brush it up. What's my favorite superfood? Okay, sunshine. No, superfoods, I really don't like the superfood stuff, but here's what I like. If I'm going to go superfood, I'm going to go to algae, okay, because we don't normally eat them, right? So I love the spirulinas, the corellas, the kelp, the purple dulse, the AFAs, all of those guys. That's what I like. Hi, are you a doctor? Yes, I am a doctor 2 times over. Wild organic blueberries. Yep, they're delicious. One of my daughters, loves them too. And of course, she ate so many. Blah. So even wild organic blueberries can do it. I'm a big fan of buying them frozen like you see out there. That's the thing. You missed the superfoods cause your Wi-Fi froze. Will you please repeat them? Okay, as far as superfoods, I don't like the term superfoods. Okay, just so now, The thing is I like the algae. I like the plants because we don't eat them. Okay, when it comes to spirulinas, green and blue, and chlorella, and I like kelp, and I like purple dulse, and I like seaweed, the occasional bladderwhack. All right, those kind of things, those are the superfoods that I prefer if I'm going to say, hey, superfoods, right? But you don't have to have them every day. I like food. I like plants and animals. I like to eat around. You got to be a food hoe. If that offends you too much, there's other people to watch. Anything on parasites and Candida. I covered that earlier. They're real. But Candida what? There's a lot of different Candidas. And there's a lot of funguses that are not Candida also. Parasites, you got to treat them right. They're not all the same. Of course, I was showing earlier, one of the things we do is we standardly screen for parasites in our patients. These are all the ones. All the entamoebas, okay? The blastocystis, okay? A lot of them. So when you say parasite, that's like saying automobile. What do you think about automobiles? What, we talking about Teslas? We talking about Vespas? We talking about Hummers? We talking about, Yamabushas, motorcycles? We talking about Bugattis? Let's see here. What about excess hair with PCOS? Can it be reversed, or what would you recommend? Yes, Ashley, darn it, absolutely can be. We have to, in order to balance the hormones, you have to balance your nutritional biochemistry. Yep. And you got to fix the GI tract because there's a lot of enterohepatic recirculation of toxins that people push out from doing certain things, and their bowels aren't moving properly, and those chemicals are not being sequestered, so the body takes them back up and they keep getting recirculated in, and you can have some imbalances in your steroidal hormones. Okay? And it's hard. It's people are taking things for things. Don't take pills, potions, and powders for diseases. Don't treat diagnoses. What about water filters? Everybody's late game. Mandy Candy. Water filters, one more time. Multi-stage, reverse osmosis with remineralization. That's what you do. Berkeys, they're okay, but they're a pain in the butt, and you still got to always remineralize your water. Don't use Kangen electrocution machines. Okay? What water filters? Well, don't use any of the Britas or the Zero Waters. All that's just crap. You need to have a system both for your house and then an RO system after that for drinking and cooking and ice cubes. Like I have an RO system that's connected to my pot filler over my stove and all the way over to my refrigerator to make ice cubes. Seaweed may be then for iodine. Yeah, that's it. That way you don't have to eat that, that crappy iodized salt. There's this one girl on TikTok, and I have a master's in nutrition or whatever, and she's the most cockiest. Wow, I'm like, yikes, girl, you need to dial that back. And she did a video on trying to say how important it was for us to have, iodized salt, and it's just not true, not in today's industrialized world. You have leaky gut. Ania, everybody has leaky gut. Everybody, right? More on that later. Thoughts of upper age limit for human life expectancy potential, actually more than 150. We're not, Sarah, you're awesome, man. This girl's got the winning thing for, I think it's a girl, Sarah Bella, 0007. Great questions. No, here's the deal. Not to 150 years, no. Do I feel that with CRISPR and other things, and if you learn balance protocol and live life in balance, you'll get to 50 and be rocking and rolling? I expect to live, 110. Are things going to come around and change? Possibly, but I'm very cautious of that stuff because they lie to us all the time. And they honestly don't want people living that long, the powers that be. They really don't. There is afoot some very evil forces out there, the World Economic Forum, and their number one thing is population control. Everything that they do with the economy and the whole, COVID, whatever, pandemic, is population control. And so I'm funny about any technology that's going to, tell people it's going to be whatever. They're trying to tell people that mRNA technology is going to be for that, and I think that's a ruse too. So that's kind of a touchy subject to kind of get into tonight. What are your vitamins and minerals for male hair loss? Alex, we don't give vitamins and minerals for hair loss, okay? Because you don't know what vitamins and minerals are missing or in excess in the individual, female or male for that matter. It's multifactorial. You can't just go, oh, well, I'm going to take some biotin. Oh, I'm going to take some horsetail for the silica. I get all that, but it's just not true. It depends upon the symphony within your body's biochemistry. There's a lot more to it when it comes to hair. In my family, ever since, it's my dad. I'm a little thin back here, right? And my dad was really thin. I'm like really not thin, but just, I'm 50. But, of course, he said that's just a solar panel for a sex machine. That's what my dad used to say. Anyway, so hair loss is indicative of a poor internal health and chemistry. If you correct that, then you get the hair corrected for free. Don't just target the hair. Target the whole person. Would you suggest Pregnenolone for someone to take as a supplement? Not just blindly. I appreciate the actual question when it comes to that. Don't take hormones, okay, in the absence of quantified, qualified, measure, and monitored need. Because you could justify, oh man, I heard all the things about pregnenolone. It's amazing. All the things about estradiol, all the things about testosterone and DHEA and, progesterone. They all have their place in the context of you. Don't take them based upon some type of presupposition. We can determine if you should take them and how much you should take them, and wait for it, when you should stop. There you have it. You got to stop taking pills all the time, right? Thoughts on experimental use of prostate cancer drugs off labels? I don't like that at all. Don't like that at all for hirsutism, not at all. Opinion on Rife. What the cat? Listen, Rife was close. Here's the problem. That's a great question. Rife, frequency, imbalance protocol. Everything for us is energy, frequency, vibration. It is a principal tenet of the method. But here's the problem. People say, well, you need Rife and frequencies for cancer. Like cancer is a thing. There are cancers, plural, not just a cancer, okay? And you can't do, okay, well, this frequency for Candida. That's not true, okay? There's just, so it's close, but it's not there. There's a lot of theory. I've played with all kinds of Rife machines, all kinds of biofeedbacks, all kinds of on-the-meds and biomeridian best testing and Zyto and all those type of electro medicines and stuff. And I don't use them in clinical practice because they fail miserably, particularly if you don't fix their environment that a person is in. If you have excessive body voltage, you're living in a Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, radio frequency, microwave saturated environment, I don't give a damn what Rife stuff you do. I don't care what supplements you take. You do not have a snowball's chance of getting well. Need help and I'm scared. I know, Allegro, it is scary. I get it. And listen, I'm enthusiastic and passionate and everything like that. But don't confuse it with a sales pitch. Everything is your damn fault. You guys listen. Everything you have in life, you negotiated and tolerated. Actively or passively, with knowledge or without. That's just the way it works. And I'm not selling a damn thing, a pills, potion, powders, or gadget or gizmo. I'm an educator. That's what I do. And the first education is ain't nobody like you and don't treat disease. Mental health, it's symptoms and something else. What do you treat with besides RX? Ashley, for mental stuff, absolutely. I treat with environment, lifestyle, mindset, and nutrition. Those 4 factors, not just one or the other, but all of them. Okay? There you have it. When you have mental health challenges, it's reflective of poor biochemistry. Okay, George Watson showed it in his book, Nutrition in Your Mind. Pfeiffer, lots of greats before me did it. Okay, what are some good brands for algae products? Concerned about heavy metals. I've been looking at companies that have a certificate of analysis. Tommy, you're awesome. Tommy T. Dane. I have my sources, so they're not really brands that you have access to, and I know that kind of stinks. I wish I could give you an answer, but I don't. I have a different access point. But yeah, you do want to get a C of A and make sure there's not heavy metals and stuff in there. It's totally true. I appreciate that. That's a great litmus test. I'm starting to think maybe I should have applied to medical school. Sarah Bell, no. Medical schools suck. They teach people a broken model. They teach you to be a master of the name it, blame it, claim it, tame it game. Right? That's it. Give it a name. Give it a Latin diagnosis, right? And then get the patient to claim it. Oh, it's my rheumatoid arthritis. It's my migraines. It's my bipolar, right? Then they want to blame it on something. Oh, it's your genes, right? And then they want to tame it with what? Drugs. So no, medical school sucks. I'm saving doctors that went to medical school and they're like, man, we're not healing any patients with this crap. I want to learn balanced protocol. So no. That's my thing on medical school. But you can go. It's a great starting point, but you ain't going to learn to practice there unless you want to, be a part of a fraternity that kills 350,000 people a year. Love my thoughts on chlorine hydroxide. Chlorine hydroxide. Do you mean, Toodaloo, do you mean chlorine dioxide? How do we fix it? Rain, shine, bright. Well, how do we fix what? My naturopathic doctor recommended Pregnenolone 20 milligrams and ended up in the hospital. Yes, see, damn. Listen, I'll tell you, I'm a naturopathic doctor too. It's one of mine. But the thing about it is that's terrible. See, that's the problem with these naturopaths, man. My colleagues are idiots. I mean, I'm like, what? Yeah. It just goes to show you, pregnenolone has a wonderful thing, but it can, in out of context, you can end up, having, the experience that you had. Yeah, we're on the same page. World Economic Forum. Yeah, it's a terrible, diabolical thing, right? Sodium azide is in COVID-19 test kits. Sent them to U.S. Homes. Yeah, there's all kinds of stuff, 444, that are in there in those kits. I didn't take a single, CVID test ever. Never. I wouldn't do it. Didn't wear a mask one single day in the last 2 years. Master for surgical suites, and that's it. It's just the biggest ruse I've ever seen in my entire existence. Thank you for spreading awareness of them. Yep, pure evil and control everything. Ash Marie, that's it. They want to kill off people. They really do. All right, I'm going to see if I can get through these questions real quick. Let me go. Man, you guys are awesome tonight. Thanks for spending this time with me, man. We've had a lot of people in here. I want to let you know I'm not afraid to say, I wish I could, I love you. I appreciate it. It's really why I'm doing this. I wish I could afford your system. I did. So the Prime, loved all the information. 63 Mayberry. That's wonderful. I'm glad you enjoyed that. Can you please tell me how to help severe chronic IBS? Well, Terry Chalky, what to do to help us? We got to educate you. We got to figure out why you have your irritable bowel syndrome, right? It's come from environment, lifestyle, mindset, nutrition. There's multifactorial. There's a lot of instruments in the symphony that's you. What is low thyroid? Again, same thing, Jennifer. It just depends, right? So, the thyroid hormone can be affected by a lot of things, right? Your thyroid is affected by circadian rhythm and blue light. Your thyroid is affected by body voltage if you're sleeping in a bed next to power that's running all night. If you have a Wi-Fi router near you just pinging you all night with radio frequency microwaves, that can give you low thyroid, right? You can have deficiencies in B6, B12, folate, zinc, copper imbalance. You can have, all kinds of things. It's not just the iodine. It's not the thyroxine. It's a lot of things for low thyroid. But I'll tell you this, I never treat low thyroid, and I don't go after thyroid until way later in the protocol. Balance protocols, if you go through balanceprotocolprime.com, you'll realize that hormones, including thyroid, is key 7 in the order of operations. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We get to thyroid hormone towards the end. We'll get it for free. We don't have to treat the thyroid. Now, I know it's sexy to get thyroid support and the bullshit thing that's out there called adrenal fatigue, But people are missing the boat. There's so much more upstream that you can do. My house water comes out very yellow, so I don't use to drink with. What makes it yellow? And is it if it's got color to it, you better not be bathing in it. Shawty? Nope. I have loose belly and watery stool at times. What would cause this? Willow, it can be caused by all kinds of things. There's 5 causes of all disease: nutrient deficiencies, stressors, microbes, allergens, or toxins. That is it. So you got to find out which of those 5 in combination or singularly is contributing to your loose, jelly, watery stools. Now there's some clues, okay? What's going on in the stomach? What's going on in the pancreas? What's going on in the liver and in the gallbladder? There's a variety of microbes and parasites that come into play. It could be a lot of things, right? It could be contributing to what you're eating. What do you do for metal detox? Nicole, it depends upon what metal. Every metal has a valent charge. We match it with another mineral to displace that charge, bind it together, and get the body to remove it from the body. Like excess of aluminum, I use silica, okay? Excess cadmium, we use selenium. If you have excess copper, we use zinc. If you have excess zinc, we use copper. It just depends, okay? Calcium also comes into play, but calcium what? The last name of the mineral determines what it is. Calcium carbonate is an alkaline calcium. Calcium phosphate is a acidic one. Calcium citrate is a neutral. Calcium orotate is a neutral. Aspartate, the last name of the mineral determines how the mineral works and what's its target tissue and what it does, right? Then, what do you do with it? Okay, dump it into the bowel, and then you don't take a crap for once a day, even though you're eating 2 to 3 times a day. So in a week, 2 to 3 meals a day for 7 days, that's 14 to 21 turds being made, and you're pooping once a day. You got 7 coming out, and you want to talk about parasite cleanse, detox, mold, past life regressions, whatever crap. No, you got to move that pooper. So that's the bigger thing first, and then let the systems of the body handle it. There's 4 phases of detoxification in the body. I don't even like the term detoxification. I use biotransformation because that's what the body does. It doesn't just detox it, it transforms it. There's phase 0, 1, 2, and 3. So it all depends. Mercury. Okay. Depends upon where the mercury is. Is it in your serum or is it in your tissues? And how much it is. Okay? No, you're not going to eat a little cilantro on your enchiladas and detox heavy metals. That's another one that's missing. But the science shows that cilantro, detoxes heavy metals. Did you go look at that study? Was it on rats or humans? I can tell you there's some of both. But then what's the dose? How much? That's your clue. Leaky gut mechanism, evidence, gluten, weak, tight junctions, ups and terms. Well, yes, there's all kinds of things other than gluten that can cause the tight junctions in the GI to do that. And yes, we can measure zonulin to see the level and degree of doing that, okay? So the leaky gut mechanism is not just in glutens. You guys know what else can cause leaky gut? Ready for it? You're not going to like this. Turmeric, curcumin. Did you guys know that? Of course you didn't, because they're not going to tell you that. There's a lot of things that can cause leaky gut and inflammation. Yeah. My husband works on power lines. I feel like it's the reason he's having issues because of that. I don't necessarily know it's the reason, but it certainly can contribute to it. Chesney. Yeah. It's a tough deal, man. Linemen, they get exposed to a lot of stuff. I'm very familiar with Hulda Clark treatment of parasites using frequency. And not to hurt your feelings, okay, Don Brown, Hulda Clark was bullshit. She died of cancer, just so you guys know. Cure for all cancers. I cut my teeth in the late 80s, early 90s, okay? I knew very well of Hulda. We disagreed on a lot of stuff, and it was too obtuse, very dogmatic, and frequency, no, not at all. The frequencies I like to use are light frequencies, and solfeggio and some of the others. Anyways, can I book an appointment from Canada for gallstones? Yes, you can, but not an appointment for gallstones. We need to do a discovery call first, Jennifer, so we can talk a little bit, because I don't want you to think that I can just have a call and treat you for gallstones. We don't do that. I want to be very candid about that. That's not what this is for. We don't do acute medicine like that. Okay, we do for people who have a concierge membership in a medical practice, and we can do as they come and work. But that's a chronic thing, and chronic things like gallstones, you need to build up to the body. Remember, balance protocol is nourish, balance, purify. That's the order of operations. We got to build you up and get you ready to push out stones. Because if we start pushing out stones and they're too big or they get stuck in the duct, oh, you ain't going to like me at all, okay? So we got to be very careful about that. What kind of zinc should I take, and should I have copper? Rain shine, I don't know what kind of zinc. We talking zinc monomethionine, we talking zinc orotate, zinc aspartate. There's all kinds of zincs to achieve different things. Zinc carnosine, zinc gluconate, and no, it's rare that anybody needs to take copper. And you want to know something? Even more rare is anybody needing to take iron. Don't be listening to that Dr. Sebi shit. Everybody needs iron. No, the hell you don't. The one mineral that we have no efficient way of getting rid of, except women with your menses, is iron. Iron is in every damn thing. If you're anemic and it shows low iron, it doesn't mean you don't have iron. It means it's in the wrong place. It's in your tissues. It's still there. And what iron does is governed by copper. Any anemia vis-a-vis related to iron is a copper problem all the time. And you got to take a look at its transport protein called ceruloplasmin. And you also have to take a look at your vitamin A status through retinol binding protein to evaluate serum copper. And then you always have to do copper and zinc together. So I'll give you an example. So like these minerals here, okay? So this person right here, whoop, wrong one. That's the fats. I thought I had right on top. Okay, so this is the mineral panel, okay? See this person right here? Their copper is 89. Okay? It should be 100. Zinc should be 115 to 120. So even though, listen, it's in the green, that's not optimal. So we change that. Okay? So I saw a doctor on a TikTok. He said, if you're taking zinc, always take copper. Take them together. No, the hell you shouldn't. Zinc is a masculine energy periodic table element. Should be taken the first half of the day. Copper should be taken the second half of the day in the feminine time. Don't take them at the same time. Let's see here. Is DO school? What was that? Let's see. Man, you guys are so awesome. These are such good questions. I can't even keep up. Is DO school at least any better? Yes, Sarabella, it is. Oops, chlorine dioxide. I knew that's what you're talking about too, Lou. Chlorine dioxide or MMS has its place clinically. I teach patients how to make it and consume it the right way. It's not for everybody. It's not for the faint of heart. But yes, it's a clinically useful tool. But after you take chlorine dioxide, you have to put in sulfur through thiosulfate to push it out, or you'll create problems. Other foods high in resveratrol, perhaps olive oil. No. Just being recorded. Yes, Tommy Dane, it is being recorded. I'm going to post it to my YouTube, BitChute, and Rumble, which is /Balance Protocol. YouTube, BitChute, and Rumble. You can follow me over there, and you can watch this whole video. Yes, great question, Tommy. You work in nursery, not vaccinated, but in order to keep my job, I was considering nope, don't do that. Jennifer, you have an exemption through Title VII. Title VII, 100% exclusive vax exemption. You don't have to ask for it. You invoke it. I did an entire webinar on that through the Florida Freedom Keepers. Thank you for time and knowledge. You're welcome, Sarah. Thank you for all this information. You guys appreciate it. Share, guys. Send it out to people. Tag, like, all that fun stuff, because that will help me get some traction so we can change the world together. How do you keep getting SARS-CoV-2? Had it 4 times. You don't keep getting it. The only reason you're presuming that, rain shine, is because you're probably taking some test, and the test is bogus. Thank you so much for all this info. Magnesium citrate for constipation. You can do that, but I'm more of a mag sulfate or Epsom salts person for constipation as opposed to the mag citrate. But yet it depends. It depends. Because, if you take the wrong one, you'll need to be wearing some Depends. You see what I did there? Yeah, okay. Daughter has really bad acne. Can she benefit? Absolutely, Sarah. When I first met my lovely bride, Abigail, she had real bad cystic acne. And we had it gone in 90 days and hadn't looked back. Now she's just as pretty as the day is long. Well, she was pretty before that, but What causes hormonal imbalance? All kinds of things. Environment, lifestyle, mindset, and nutrition. The sources of those that create nutrient deficiencies, stressors, microbes, and allergens and toxins. Wow, I never knew that about turmeric. Yep, turmeric is rough, man. That's why it's very hard to absorb in the gut. That's why they make it, you have to take black pepper to get it into the system. What's the indicator of optimal TSH level? The acceptable range is too wide. 1 to 2, but that's multifactorial. Sarah, you are a riot tonight. You're cracking me up. You have 11 acres and there's a power line going through my property, big ones. Is that hurting me? Well, Shorty, you need to test. You need to get a milligauss meter, right? And you need to get a body voltage meter, and you need to test. You need to turn everything off on your house. All this stuff I teach patients. When you work with us, we teach you all that stuff. There's a course that I have called Balance Protocol Enviro.com. It's expensive. It's $2,997. It's a lot of money, but you learn everything you need to know about air, water, light, sound, EMF, and food in that course. Any risks for contraindications of high protein diets, 100 to 120? It is. It depends. Let me give you an example. Okay? Hold on the protein question. Where's my protein? Okay. On every patient, we do a protein or amino acid evaluation in your plasma. Okay? And if you're driving too much protein, then your body can assimilate, not digest, not absorb, assimilate. This urea level will go up. Okay? It also depends upon the overall balance of what protein it is. If all it is chicken, or all it is beef, are we talking high purine beefs? Are we talking about low purine proteins? So it's not a matter of the 1 to 120 grams per day, okay? It's not the context. It's the context of what kind of protein in your biological terrain. All right, guys, my wife is giving me the wrap-up signal because she's ready for Friday night. Okay, had gallbladder removed. Oh man, snip the thing, man. You guys are something else. I appreciate all of you. I thought about Dr. Sebi's teachings. I think he meant well, but he had no proper education. There's a lot of stuff that he does do that, of course, can help people. But all in all, Sebi stuff, and of course, TikTok's trying to get all over it, and it's just kind of nuts. Will you be able to eat my Puerto Rican? Well, yes. Oh, I love me some Puerto Rican food. I can cook it too, baby. You can believe that. Absolutely. I'm from North Carolina, and we believe swine is divine, and I love some juca, some plantains. We eat all that stuff, but your body has to be prepared and ready to do that. So you have to be rich for you to help. You have to invest, that's for sure. I don't know about being rich, but here's the thing, guys, and let's cover that because I know that's kind of a little snarky comment. I'd be hurrying my son. I appreciate that. Here's the thing. It is interesting that we, in the world today, we do have a situation where we have a broken healthcare system. And it's because the mob, the health mafia organization, the HMOs, it's somebody else paying for it. They get to decide what is right and wrong for people. And that's the messed up stuff. You wait for something to break. Then you go see the doctor, and they're a one-trick pony. You get drugs. You don't get education, because if we're going to bill it to that insurance, they're going to say, Doc, you get 7.6 minutes. And you got to walk in the room of the person who's been sitting there for a damn hour after they sat in the lobby for an hour, reading some outdated damn magazine, sitting in the paper gown. And then we say, hey, what's your problem? And then you got this, you get one problem. And then they give you a little square slip of paper that you take that down to the drugstore and you exchange it for one of those little orange bottles. If it's a Target, it's red. You see what I'm saying? And then you just keep making your premium, your copays. That's why you're getting that care. Our care costs more than that, yes. But I can't do anything about it, okay? Because it's not a matter of time and money. The ultimate thing is, our goal is to teach you how not to need us. Like, I don't need a dentist. I haven't been to a dentist in over 15 years. I know how to take care of my teeth and gums, okay? That's the way it is. Okay. Now, as far as being affordable, it is affordable. You can't afford not to. We're very affordable, right? So price-wise, okay, it depends upon your case. To sit down with somebody to do a comprehensive case review, to get an hour of our time to evaluate everything that is your case is about $585. Yeah, so that's an expensive number. But look at all the supplements and time and wasting and quality of life that's lost from that. Can't make that up. Like one of my courses, very expensive because it's over 50 hours of instruction. There's a lot of support that goes into that. I have a team and a staff, and I'm going to tell you some other things because I'm totally transparent. To do what I do, I get attacked a lot. The legal battles that we fight, okay? The threats to our livelihood and our well-being are massive. Have you guys ever looked up how many docs like me have been suicided in the last 5 years? It'll blow your mind. Thank goodness I'm not suicidal or anything like that, and I'm well skilled. But anyways, they'll find the perpetrator, dead at my feet. Anyways, sidebar. That's what I want you to know. Listen, guys, I understand that. But you're a part of a Ponzi scheme that is Medicare, Medicaid, and managed care. I understand. But if you think of what you save in the quality of your life, if somebody says, listen, you come to a therapist or somebody, you go, listen, what's the value? I'm suicidal, or I want to take my life and it's over. Or, because I've seen that with patients lots of times. Haven't lost one yet. Here's the deal. Or my marriage is ending. What's the value of saving that? Okay, what's the value of you? That's my biggest thing, guys, is when you start realizing that you're the most important thing in the whole world to yourself, above your kids, above your spouse, above your job, your car, and anything else. You need to start having yourself as the most valuable possession you have. I'm not afraid to say it. Above everything, because we know kids go up and run off, and we know divorces happen, but you'll always have you. Invest in yourself. Learn skills that will prevent you from having to go to the damn doctor, because doctors make mistakes. Okay? We kill almost 400,000 people a year from making mistakes. Good doctors, board certified doctors. I've earned 4 national board certifications. Okay? But the cool thing is I don't make mistakes. You know why? Because I spend time with my patient. I work for you. I don't work for somebody. I don't have a billing thing. I don't care about your insurance coverage. I don't get pre-authorization to work for you. And neither does my team. And it's not just me. I've had 3 of my students, 2 medical doctors and a chiropractor, actually in the thing tonight. Okay? So that's all I got to say. I understand about that it's not affordable. I get it. It is tough. Okay? So you got to work that out. I don't belittle you for it. Do this. Learn. Okay? Come in here. Ask questions. I'll do my best to serve you from the heart. I don't know everything. As you can see, I leave the lab coat and stethoscope. I don't even wear them anymore. I just hang that damn thing up. I don't care about the 23 letters at the end of my name. Okay? I'm just Dr. Anthony G. Beck, and I'm here to serve you guys. And therein lies the difference. I've seen tens of thousands of patients over 27 years. I am the man in the arena, and I've got mad skin in the game. And I'll serve you guys as much as you keep coming back. And let everybody know, say, come check out this dude, because I ain't selling you nothing except education. Okay? And I put that forward and out there, and I make no apologies for it. All right? So Jeep Girl, Dawn, love you to death. I'll see you guys soon. Until next time, as we say, live life in balance.